this is Dr. Ornish again, said if a person looked up stress in the index of summaries of scientific presentations, there would not be a single reference to love. And I have notes of this from back in 98 when I first researched him. And he found this amazing, since love or lack of love, he found, as a cardiologist, to be directly influencing physical outcomes. So, just amazing. And Dr. Ornish believed that a person is composed of a system of energy that is connected to others, as I mentioned before, that people can open up and shut down this energy system that moves through them when they shut down or close off their hearts. So how do they actually do this? Well, they shut down through fear, he would tell you, worry, stress, and all of that. And he would also say that we suffer not because we're in pain, but that the real suffering is that, we feel that we're in pain alone. And I, again, always thought that was remarkable and have worked with that with people in coaching. Now, if on the other hand, we open our heart by making a connection with the outer world and with the others in it, his belief was that the energy that flows in nourishes us at all levels, such that love and intimacy play a very powerful role in a person's health and even in a person's survival. So Dr. Ornish would tell you this is documented by hundreds of scientific studies. Now, what the research also showed is that while a person can't change particular events that may have happened earlier in their lives, and we all know this, certain traumas, abuse, and so on, Dr. Ornish did find that it's the ongoing pattern of relating to others. So it's not like what happened when you were a kid, but what is your ongoing pattern of relating to others? He found that would be the most important factor in your health and well-being. So, in other words, you can change it now. If it wasn't good before, you can improve it through your own awareness and consciousness and, spiritual growth and all of that. And that people can change the way in which they relate, not only to themselves, but to others. So how does a person improve or, change negative patterns of relatedness that maybe have taken place throughout their whole lifetime? Well, Dr. Ornish would tell you that, and remember, he's a scientist, he's a doctor, medical doctor, and he values science for the information and understanding it brings, of course, but he goes on to say that there's tremendous scientific evidence that would point to the importance of spending time talking with people, especially as a physician. And of course, we know from a Western standpoint that there often is not a great deal of time that physicians have, no fault of their own, just they're overbooked, there's so many people, to spend talking with people. He would also say that according to the New England Journal of Medicine, more money is spent out of pocket on alternative care actually than traditional care. So he began calling alternative care, what most people would refer to anyway as alternative care, he called it integrative medicine because he felt that these treatments actually help integrate the healing. So, care that allows you to get in touch with your feelings, your expression, whether this is going to see a life coach, a therapist, being involved in support groups, all of that kind of thing, energy work, whatever way you do it, he would tell you that a person's well-being improves if the person does what he calls opens the heart. So be thinking from that perspective, opens the heart. Now, you could say opening the heart would mean just being willing to allow yourself to be open and vulnerable to another person, and that would be correct. So even though diet and exercise may help reverse heart disease, that's been shown too, and he's got another book, I can't remember the title, but it's a book on like healthy cooking to reverse heart disease. So sure, diet and exercise may help reverse heart disease. But Dr. Ornish would stress that love and intimacy might be the most important factors in your heart health. So it would be important to look at, what brings you joy, what makes you feel valued, and most of all, what gives you meaning. Because if you don't really have meaning in your life, then you could see where you would be shutting down, or you wouldn't feel as open or connected. Now, there's a wonderful quote I heard years ago, and that is that your vulnerability is your strength. Isn't that cool? So, when you're vulnerable, it doesn't weaken you. It actually strengthens you to be able to express, to feel fully, to share, and so on. So the research of Dr. Ornish and others on the heart has shown that a perceived lack of support from others, and that is the case for many people, that was a significant predictor of death and greater deterioration in heart disease patients. So all of his research and work made Dr. Ornish conclude that social networks, close family ties, your feelings of your spirituality, being connected, all of that, that this protects against disease and even against premature death. So I just, again, was fascinated, and from all of those concepts created Heart Living. So how do we create heart harmony or positive heart rhythm in our lives? How do we do this? Well, first it's important, based on what we've discussed from the research so far and those ideas, to really be able to disclose what we're feeling. And I do this all the time in group process in my office. I gather groups of, for some reason, 11 is a magic number, so I gather groups of 11 people in my workshops, usually smaller workshops, not my large workshops, because I have, as many as 100 people in larger workshops. But when I have small group process, I usually make it like 11 people. And we do this just by speaking with one another, and I guide the discussion as far as offering questions that we can discuss and concepts, making it so that everybody feels there's sort of a code of respecting one another. Nobody's judging anybody. You can say what you want to say. And when you talk with others in a group process, I think as a person in the group evolves, the group itself evolves. So that's an amazing advantage to group process. You can also certainly, and I do this much, and you probably have dear friends that you just talk one-on-one with. So group process, even talking with one person, this is going to allow you to self-disclose. Second thing you can do is you can write about your feelings, and that's self-disclosure too. Keep a journal. You can write letters. You can just make notes, 3 things I'm grateful for every day, those kinds of things. But whatever way you do choose to self-disclose, the main idea would be to let yourself really express yourself, really feel your feelings. And, letting yourself feel really means allowing yourself to truly feel, not holding anything back, not cutting off a part of yourself, nothing like that. I think when Dr. Ornish talked about pain and what keeps it alive, I'm going to pick up on that when we come back from our next break. But it is time now for a break. I'm Dr. Cynthia Bischoff, your host for Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff, Dream Vision 7 Radio Networks, the media partner for Omega Institute. For more information, you can go to dreamvision7radio.com. And we'll be back for further tips on the power of the heart. Thanks so much for listening.
Join us every Wednesday at 2 p.m. and 2 a.m. Eastern on the Dream Vision 7 Radio Network for Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff, where you'll discover life wisdom and achieve greater spiritual awareness. Through Cynthia's coaching tips, healing stories, and inspirational interviews, you will improve your relationships, find greater balance, and achieve inner peace today. Join thousands who've transformed their lives through Heart Living.
EDESIA is a U.S. nonprofit dedicated to the dream of ending childhood malnutrition for millions of children around the world. Through the manufacture of Plumpy Nut and other nutrient-rich, peanut-based, ready-to-use foods, EDESIA has already delivered life and hope to nearly 1 million children in over 26 developing countries. To find out how you can join EDESIA's dream of ending childhood malnutrition, please visit edesiaglobal.org.
Are you ready to live a more meaningful and passionate life? Through the principles of Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff, international life coach and energy medicine practitioner, you'll delve into new theories, discover life wisdom, and achieve greater balance. Become inspired. Connect with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff through her Dream Vision 7 radio show, Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff. Visit Cynthia's website at heartliving.com and like her Facebook page at facebook.com/heartliving for inspiration and guidance. Cynthia has helped thousands transform their lives. Let her lead you on a remarkable journey of the heart.
After narrowly surviving the attack on Sandy Hook Elementary, first grade teacher Caitlin Roy DeBellis was left searching for answers that would never come. Eventually, she chose to focus on questions that could be answered. How do I make sure this tragedy doesn't define us? How do we get our control back? Those two questions led her to found the 501c3 nonprofit organization Classes for Classes. When gifts poured into their classroom, she decided they would help someone else by paying it forward and being kind. This developed into a social network which allows K-8 classrooms to connect so that every student in the United States can learn these crucial lessons. Classes for Classes' mission is to build students' social-emotional intelligence by connecting them to care. All C4C projects are crowdfunded. Any teacher in the U.S. can visit classesforclasses.org. That's classes, the number 4, classes.org. Sign up today.
Ever wonder what it's like to have your own radio show? Well, wonder no longer, because you can dip into the radio airwaves by being host for the day on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. It's a fabulous way to get your radio feet wet. It's an opportunity to market your business, modality, or book. Have a guest, mention a sponsor, and take callers. Or you may want to facilitate a lesson by going solo. It's up to you. Listeners can be online, mobile, in cars with Bluetooth, or listen through Amazon's Echo by asking, Alexa, play Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. For more details, go to dreamvision7radio.com and click on Host for the Day.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back. You're listening to Dream Vision 7 Radio. I'm Dr. Cynthia Bischoff of the Heart Living with Dr. Cynthia Bischoff show. Dream Vision 7 Radio Network is the media partner for Omega Institute. Our topic today is the power of the heart. So we were discussing how to create heart harmony or positive heart rhythm in our lives. And I had mentioned that you could do talking with one-on-one, you could do group process, but you could also self-disclose through keeping a journal, writing letters, making notes, whatever is the way that you feel most comfortable with truly expressing and feeling what you feel. And then I wanted to share this idea that Dr. Ornish had said, that sometimes, people keep a certain pain alive in themselves. And I want to talk about that just a bit because I know it would be helpful. It has been helpful, I should say, to many of my clients. I think it would be helpful to listeners as well. So what is it that, keeps us still in pain and just continuing emotional and physical pain? What I have found in working with people is that people resisting feeling the pain. It's like, I'm not going to let myself, feel the pain. I won't allow myself to feel it. So as I do allow myself to finally feel it, to acknowledge what I'm feeling and know that I'm not wrong for feeling it, that's going to help me to actually improve. It's going to help me to heal. It's almost like admitting your feelings to yourself. I'm going to open my heart. I'm going to really feel these feelings rather than to resist feeling. And in Japan, what's really cool is they would tell you, let's say you have a shoulder pain, and our typical sort of response to that would be to sort of push the shoulder away, my pain in my shoulder. So we're even saying my pain in my shoulder, like we're owning it, instead of there is a pain in my shoulder. And rather than to push that away, resist it, or feel frustrated by it, it would be better, they would tell you, to embrace the pain, to actually take your own hand and pull your shoulder into your body, to soothe it, to care for it, to love it, actually. I know it sounds, out there, but to actually love the shoulder and bring it back into the fold, because it's connectedness that actually leads to healing.